Alright, hello everybody. Eugene Gately here. Going over a game that Jack played at the Cherry Blossom tournament up in DC, and Jack had the black pieces. And White, his opponent Andrew Sheehan, opened up with D4, and Jack plays D5. Now we have the Queen's Gambit on the board, and Jack plays C6, the Slav defense. And we see Andrew playing knight f3, knight c6, and we're into the quiet variation of the Slav, and e6, entering semi-Slav territory, perhaps. Now Andrew is playing knight g to d2, semi-Slav defense, quiet variation, and knight b to d7, b3 from Andrew. Aggressive. Oh. Careful now. With the queen that early in the game. What would Margaret Hamilton say about Miss Gulch going to a5? Queen to c2. Knight e4. And bishop to d3. f5. Oopsie. Castle. And bishop e7 would have been better up here. Moving the knight back because, I don't know, we want to move the f pawn and kick that knight. Jack castles. And we see a3 on the board. Saying knight f3 is better, but a3, knight f6, knight f3, sorry, knight df3, and then looking to bring the queen back. That didn't happen. We got bishop g7 on the board, connecting the rooks, and then Andrew plops into e5 with the knight. Jack pulls the bishop back, and instead of taking the dark square highway, Andrew decides to kick the bishop. Kick the knight. Where to put it? Jack puts it on d6. Slightly better is g5. Alright, whatever. Andrew's got a beat on the queen by putting the c1 bishop on d2. Go back. Queen to e2. Repositioning for the knight together. Maybe. Alright, Jack pulls the knight back to d7. Maybe trying to trade. And the knight's coming to d3 from Andrew. Let's take those knights off the board. Maybe not a great idea for Andrew. According to the Stockfish, that's dubious. And Jack is challenging the knight. So it moves back. And let's get the bishop on a better square. Okay. Now bishop to b4. I think they should have come off. That trade should have happened. Jack, on your terms, I think, because that's a blunder or a bad move. So they come off with the bishop, dark squared bishop's gone, and f4. Bishop d7. c5, kicking the queen, goes back. h3, looking perhaps to advance on the king side with g4. King steps out of the way. And deviousness from Andrew, knight to b2. b5. Song. Back. With the queen. Attack the queen with the knight. Move back to c7. And the knight comes in, attacking the bishop annoyingly. Jack's expanding on the G file, and Andrew's looking at piling up on the C file. Boom, bishop to C8, just to preserve the bishop. And Andrew's pushing on the G file. Queen E7. King H2. G file should be contended. Boom. Here we go. Moving the knight, I guess, heading here. Alright, try to make some action happen on the B file. We seem to have a weak pawn though. And Andrew's going after it with the queen. So we're blocking with the rook, I see. Dubiousness though, Stockfish doesn't like it. Bishop D1. Attack, defending the pawn. Alright, let's, Jack is deciding to open up the G file. And taking off some pressure. And putting some pressure of his own on the pawn there on h3, defended by the king. Let's, oof. Alright, gave up the pawn on a5. Well, White's moving the bishop to get the rook active. Otherwise, the bishop's not really doing much here. But the rook wants to be on g1. So, Jack's uncomfortable with this knight. Dubiously goes to try to exchange. And White goes on with the plan of taking the G file. So Jack pulls the queen back to defend. Knights come off. That pawn that was hanging is gone now. Pawn is gone. That pawn is gone, but the rook is out of play. So we're moving in with the queen, white queen on c7. And Jack pulls the queen back to defend, but wrong move. Or too late. Check. Uncheck. Have to give the queen up because... And that's mate. It didn't actually show on the board because in this position, how would you not call it? Because I mean, it's mate right there. All right, Jack. Tough luck, bruh. All right. Well, I hope the video helped. Helped me understand about uh, this quiet variation. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side.